players talk about how much motivation was last year in losing to them and getting ready for this year.
Obviously not enough. We were just flat, and I thought we were. We went. My days are all messed up. What's today? Today's Sunday. We came back on Thursday night, and everybody was tired, and so we didn't go real hard on Friday. Actually, we kind of just went through some things, watched a lot of film, and then yesterday we just didn't have any pop. You know, we were really blah yesterday, and then today shoot around we were same way. So we got a bunch of young guys and never been through the travel part of it, and the travel part's hard. It takes a lot out of you.
Bob Derrick off the bench tonight. Just thoughts on the way he played?
Yeah, he played well. He played well. You know, he's able to handle a lot of physical play, you know, because he's a big, strong guy. And we ended up going to him probably more than what we wanted to initially, and then he didn't do a very good job of throwing out of doubles and things, which we've got to spend some time with. But we just don't. It's I got guys that I want to play, but it's hard to play them because they don't know what they're doing. And you know, you're looking, and depending on how people play you, you know, you got things to run in those situations, and it's hard whenever somebody's always in the way, and it's not, you know, it's not their fault really. They just don't know what they're doing. And the last play for Jermaine was a set that has been good to us, but you know, I had those other guys helping Oscar make sure we got him where he needed to be so he wasn't in the way.
How about Oscar tonight? Obviously not a great start. We grabbed a couple big rebounds, a couple big foul shots, made shots down toward the end.
Most people take 11 and 9. Yeah, I mean, he's getting better and better. You know, it's just it's going to take a little bit of time. I've said before, you know, this is his third year of organized basketball. Think about that. When you think about that, that's, you know, and here we're throwing the ball to him, you know, in situations, in hard situations.
Bob looked like he tried about everybody on Pat's Russell. Obviously, he's very good, but did you ever come up with any kind of formula to slow him down, you felt?
For whatever reason, we did a really, really poor job of doing what we had gotten, I thought, decent at. Just, you know, you get a little bit tired and you lag a little bit, and we just let him split us too much.
Do you think Gabe played better today?
It's going to take Gabe a while. I mean, you're talking about a guy who this is all new to, and it's, you know, he didn't get the reps that other guys got because we didn't know whether we were going to have them or not. We had all those other guys that were trying to get ready, so it's going to take him a little bit of time. He's going to really help us though.
Seems like him and Derek had a good combo going when they were both in the game.
I guess. I mean, I thought Derek was really good. He got a little tired at the end and forced some things at the end that normally he doesn't force. But it's physical with him. I mean, they beat on him pretty good.
Coach, back on the backs real quick. He doesn't. I mean, obviously he has himself a game tonight, but he doesn't get a shot off at all in the last 90 seconds. Obviously, it's crunch time. Adjustments there, or just doing it better at that point?
Well, we were going to double him. But he never really got in a situation to double him. They threw it away, which really helped us. But you know, think it was Jermaine. Jermaine had him going away from the basket, did let him curl it back to the ball, which he had been doing. You know, if he curls it back to the ball, he kind of gets a running start, and Jermaine really did a good job of pushing him towards half court.
Bob, you may have mentioned this, sorry if I missed it, but I don't want to hang up on this because he had a really good game, but Derek did the start. Was that strategic to balance things out or just trying to?
We thought it was the best thing to do for this game.
Good? Just to even minutes and just to even the way you wanted to play, like extend it more?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to play Gabe and Logan at the same time. You know, I mean, we just don't get any offense, and we're not as effective around the basket defensively.
Eric says he kind of likes coming off the bench to see things a little bit before it goes in.
Good, I'll set him the next game.
You got two big guys, both of whom pretty talented, both of whom can score, both of whom can rebound. You got one basketball game. You have to do anything to keep them happy, or is that just in their nature?
Bob, it's never been a problem. To this point, it's never been a problem. Actually, Derek tries to help Oscar as much as he can. And it's, you know, I mean, I could see where Derek could get frustrated too, because Oscar's not where he's supposed to be in a lot of instances. You know, we've got a lot of work to do with him in terms of understanding spacing and knowing what we're trying to run, what we're trying to accomplish with whatever we're doing. We clog things up so bad, it's just, you know, it looks like roller derby.
If I can go back to the way you're splitting those guys up too, I'm guessing you like what you saw, but I don't know if you'll stick with it or not, but what type of freedom does that give you or relief does that give you?
Mike, I didn't like what we saw. I didn't think we had any pop at all. You know, I mean, I just didn't think I didn't think that we were assertive. We were tired. But I mean, what are you going to do? You got to go one day and go over what they're going to do. You can't come out there without any preparation at all. So it was a long trip.
But with Derek and Oscar, do you like the way that they reacted, the way that worked out for you?
I thought Derek came off the bench with more energy than anybody we had.
Coach, you've talked about, you know, and even here tonight, different things that this team needs to work on and stuff. With all of that said, if you're 7-0 and you've beaten some pretty good teams, would you be disappointed if you guys aren't in the top 25? I think when it comes out tomorrow or whenever it comes out. Or...
At this point in time, I mean, I'd be happy for them. I'd be happy for them because that's what they want. But at this point in time, Justin and I could care less. I mean, we've been really good and not ranked where we should be, and we've been not as good and ranked higher than we should be. So I just understand that, you know, from scouring the paper that we were number one in the RPI.
Relative to Oscar's inexperience.
Scouring was the word. was the key word there.
Relative to Oscar's inexperience, what type of post progress are we seeing with him and his moves and different ways he can score?
Well, he's able to turn over both shoulders a little bit now. I mean, his and Derek, I mean, their big move is going to be the jump hook because it's about impossible to block. But, you know, Derek is better flashing up in the high post. He can make that shot a little bit better than Oscar can right now. But Oscar's come a long, long way. And if you go back and remember when we first started, Oscar's banging balls off the backboard before they hit the rim from the free throw line, and he's not doing that anymore. You know, he'll put time in.
What's going on with Taz? He was a guy we heard a lot about coming in as
Hadn't made any shots, and we've. The good thing about playing close games is you get better. I think it makes you better. The bad thing is you can't play other people as much as you want to play them. and Taz's gonna be fine. And Taz is somebody we can invert and do some things with, but he's got to start making shots, but he will. I mean, I don't have any doubt. He and Sean are both going to make shots. Jordan's going to start making shots. Jordan hadn't made shots. I mean, we've struggled at guys that we thought would be, you leave like they were today. If we left them open, they made it, and we had open shots, didn't make them. And we're better than that. Well, he's got to continue to work at it, and we got to continue to work with him, and we got to get him more time. We got to get him more time. We got to get Sean more time.
Kind of curious in the sense that a minute left to go in this game. It's a 2-point game. From a coaching standpoint, how do you handle that kind of situation now, as opposed to maybe how you would have done it when you first start out as a coach? Are you different now in situations like that?
Probably a little calmer. No, I mean, you know what you want to do. It's not as simple as it seems. You say, okay, run this. Okay, who passes it? Because we got some guys that don't pass it very well, as most people do. How do I get the other guys out of the way? Like for what we ran for Jermaine at the end. How do you get those other guys? How do you get those bigs off the block? How do you get them out of the way? Because the reality is, they're not going to chase Oscar and Derek too far from the rim. So how do I get them out of there? And so that's why we set the stagger to we wanted the guy to chase Jermaine, which he did, and then Jermaine just curled it into. If we had delivered the ball sooner like we were supposed to, it would have been an easy basket. And as it was, we held on to it too long, and by the time he got it, he almost scored over a double team.
That play with Jermaine, is that something you keep in the hip pocket for situations like that, or is that
We've
something
done it a lot.
You've done it a lot.
Yeah, we've done it a lot. We've done it with Gary Brown. We've done a lot.
The process you're talking about of taking time for the guys to get comfortable, how much of it has to be game on court time versus what they can do in practice court and on the road?
Well, it's a whole lot different. 10 guys running around out there banging into you, and guys holding you, not letting you go where you want, and stepping in front of you and chucking you. And the biggest thing is just our spacing isn't any good, and it's hard to run anything when you don't have spacing. I tell them all the time. We play against other people, and they got us spread, and that's why they can drive it on us. And we go play, and it looks like the start of a roller derby match. It's just a whole bunch of people banging into each other and falling down. We gotta spread them out, and it's harder for us to spread them out when we play two bigs. Quite frankly, it's harder.
Does it bother you at all that you haven't been able to put your foot on the throat of people when you got them down and put them away?
That's what I talked about before the game. And we could have put.
To your team? To your team?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. But I mean, we haven't really put anybody away. Didn't put Akron away we had a chance to put them away for the first game. We just didn't put anybody away.
Is that an attitude, or is that?
I think it's a culture. I think, Bob. But we got so many guys from so many different places right now. And I think we'll get there because they're really good guys. They're not going to fight you on it. But it's just a matter of continue to work on it. It's so much a game of repetition.
Does the not making shots contribute to that?
It doesn't help any. But sometimes, that's fool's gold too, because you can't name a team that hasn't gone through cold spells. During the course of the season, everybody's going to have games they just can't make any. That's why you say, how did this team beat that team so bad? Well, they beat them so bad because the other team couldn't make any shots. we're hoping that we got enough guys that can make shots that we can sub them in and they'll make shots. That hasn't happened yet, but I think it can. And Sean came in and made big shots for us against Dayton and against whoever it was. I don't know if it was Wichita or Northern Iowa, but Tad's gonna do that for us.
Anything else?
Bob, Emmett just seems like he's getting very comfortable with how he wants to play. He said he's just kind of learning how teams are going to guard him with regard to the big guys and the guards, and just what type of options can he give you where you can make shots, you can throw it to him down low. It seems like if something's not working, he can help or he can add to something.
Well, I want to get him to where he's a better third rebounder for us, and he's made some big rebounds for us. But I'd like for him to be a little more consistent, being a third rebounder for us. But he shot the ball well. He's driven it at the basket.
Coach, thank you.
Mm-hmm.